Hello there, and welcome to episode 28 of Ilum Radio. We're hosts, David Beer and Menace, and with me always is my wonderful co-host and good friend, Millie. How you doing tonight, Millie?
Oh my god, I'm so excited to get Leia done. I bought fabric for Dark Ray. It's so exciting. Those are my costume updates. Oh yeah, I don't think I mentioned last time. I'm doing Leia.
Which Leia are we doing, though?
Senatorial / ESP end scene Leia.
Okay.
Basically the same dress, different hairstyles.
Gotcha. Okay. Which always, I know it's completely off topic, and I know every other Star Wars nerd has brought it up, but in Return of the Jedi, when they go to the Ewok village and Leia's already there, whose dress was that originally that she was in?
My headcanon was that the Ewok skinned someone or skinned something, made the dress for her.
Like that day?
I don't know.
It's still like all gory on the inside and still kind of messy.
I don't know.
So I did make a mistake earlier. This is actually episode 29, not 28. 28 was last week, friends. So that was my mistake. That is not being edited out. I want you to know my mistake and hear my mistake and laugh at my mistake. So tonight's date is February 20th. Tonight we'll be talking about episode 9, The Crossing of the Bad Batch. Hopefully we'll get to watch this episode before episode 10 of the Bad Batch drops this Wednesday. But before we get to that, we do have some very minor Star Wars Celebration news. We have more guests that were announced, but it was kind of odd. The amount of guests that were announced. So, if you guys don't know, normally they've been, like, the pattern we've noticed is Monday and Wednesday, they're dropping what guests are going to be there. And it's been a lot. But they didn't drop last Wednesday. And today they only dropped 3. I mean, they're big. One's big. But 3 of them. And basically those 3 are going with Samantha Alini. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And I guess she played a stormtrooper.
She played multiple characters, not just the stormtrooper.
Oh, who other characters did she play?
She played a Resistance pilot.
Okay.
She played multiple stormtroopers in the sequel trilogy.
Okay.
I know she was basically in almost all the Disney Star Wars films.
Okay.
That came out.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I just know her one other role was the Resistance pilot.
Guess we have to go. I'll have to look for when the show's over, which Resistance pilot, which movie she was in.
Yeah, go to her like IMDb or something, or Wikipedia page, and you'll find all her roles there.
Also coming to Celebration is going to be Brian Herring, BB-8.
The puppeteer.
And also, like, last but not least, really big actually, just because I guess I'm hoping he's going to be a Celebration commenter, is Carl Weathers, a.k.a. Grief Karga, a.k.a. Apollo. I want you!
Yeah, Carl Weathers has been to a lot of New England cons lately, so he's very familiar with the con scene.
Yeah. I think I'm hoping he becomes a regular.
Like those three that were announced today, they're all very familiar with the con scene. Like they've all been to multiple conventions, and they're probably the most popular, I guess, to go to cons. Like especially Samantha. I mean, she usually just goes to the British cons, which makes a lot of sense because she does live in the UK.
Yeah, and she's going to Celebration.
Same with Brian Herring.
And they're going to Celebration Europe and in England, so that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
So
it's weird though that we only got those 3. Like,
I still have a feeling they're saving the best for last, like the biggest names for last, like Daisy Ridley, Oscar Isaac, big. Is what I mean.
Can you imagine?
And I've heard rumors that they're gonna announce some details about the new Star Wars films coming out in a few years. So hopefully at this con This hopefully this con will be the con
to announce all that cool stuff.
to announce. And like, didn't they announce details about the sequel trilogy like at one of the Europe celebrations like in the past?
Yes and no. The only thing they really announced that, to my knowledge, I know of is, and I don't think it was one of the celebrations, but it was like Kathleen Kennedy saying they're just going to go ahead with the sequel trilogy universe. You know, like sticking with that. That's about it.
Because like what was the celebration before Anaheim 2015? Because like there was one before that.
That was Anaheim 2015. I want to say maybe they were. You know what? Let's look it up before.
Wikipedia has a list.
2014, not 2914, just 2014. Or was 2014?
Let's see the Wikipedia.
Not Denver.
You do keep it good.
All right, Anaheim was both 2015 and 2022.
Europe 2013.
Okay.
July of 2013.
Okay.
And the sequel, The Force Awakens, was probably in pre-production at this point, right? Like in 2013, and then they started filming in 2014?
Give or take, yes. Give or take.
Also noted first event under Disney.
Really? No shit.
On Wikipedia, yeah. Let me link you the Wikipedia.
Yeah,
that's what it says.
I'll put that in the links, I'll put that in the links below for you guys watching this after the fact or watching this, whenever's. So, okay.
Yeah, and the year before that was back in Orlando. So
now I know.
They like to switch, yeah.
I know that people have had their tribulations with the sequel trilogy. I get it. I'm an old school Star Wars fan. There's some stuff I did agree with, some stuff I didn't agree with. Doesn't mean I hate the freaking trilogy at all. I do love the sequel trilogy. The characters in there were good. The biggest, like Millie just pointed out, this is her world. But the one thing I will give them a little shit for, which I'm glad they're kind of rectifying with what Disney is doing now, is that the three movies in the sequel trilogy were kind of disconnected a little bit. Because the way Rian Johnson wrote the first movie, and then the way
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams wrote the first movie, and then how Rian Johnson wrote the second movie was really disconnected. Like story plots aside, it was its own thing. So what I'm hoping for, and what I mean by what they rectified with the way they're doing stuff now, is everything's now interconnected and mingled. Like they have more of a plan of how they want stuff to go. So things that took place in season 1 of The Mandalorian are like having effect in like Book of Boba Fett or vice versa. You know what I mean? It's like everything's now a bit more connected, kind of like the Marvel, like the MCU. So I'm hoping with the new, if they announce another trilogy going with this same universe, it's now more, all right, you write this movie, you write this movie, you write this movie, direct. Everyone make it sure it's all cohesive and things. That's my only critique about the sequel trilogy. Other than that, I like the sequel trilogy. I will always defend the sequel trilogy. Because little do most of you neckbeards forget is that the same hate that's for the sequel trilogy now used to be for the prequel trilogy. And now the
Clone Wars.
And the Clone Wars, correct. And now they're well regarded by the people that used to complain about them. The people they just love them now.
Like literally as soon as the sequels came out, they're like, "Oh my god, the prequels are amazing."
People started building like clone armor and shit, and it's just
make up your minds.
There was a TikToker, I forget his name, but he had a really good point. He's like he goes, anytime he has a problem with Star Wars, the way to fix it is them releasing more Star Wars later. It somehow fixes an issue he has with a previous movie or show or storyline. Like, oh, why does this happen? Release another Star Wars thing. Oh, that explains why this works, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, back to Celebration. It would be dope if they do announce like Daisy Ridley, Oscar Isaac, and John Boyega. Like, bring them back.
John Boyega, I have doubts for because of his opinions on Star Wars, and yeah. But Daisy and Oscar seem to be on board.
I would agree with you. The only reason why I refute it a little bit is because they brought Harrison Ford back. And there's no way in hell he wanted...
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
And you know damn well he fought kicking and screaming.
Actually, no, he came back twice.
Twice. Yes, you're right. Twice. And he hates Han Solo. So...
Exactly.
So if they could get if they can get like old crotchety Harrison Ford back to reprise Han Solo, and actually do a pretty good job, he wasn't phoning it in. He was older Han, still a fuck up in his own right. Then I think they can bring back John Boyega. You know what I mean? Like they did him dirty. Let's do him right. Come on, like he should have been that Jedi that we wanted. Him and Daisy Ridley should have been the Jedi to fight Kylo Ren. Because it would have been dope to need the two of them to beat Kylo Ren because he's that strong. But whatever, I digress. Anywho, on tonight's episode...
oh, boy.
Tonight's episode, we're talking about Episode 9, The Bad Batch, The Crossing.
Oh my god, this episode was emotional.
Did you... Okay, so usually, Millie and I have predictions about what the episode is going to be about.
Oh my god.
And we were totally wrong. Like
we were 100% wrong.
Like
100% wrong.
I didn't expect any of this to happen.
For the first time in Ilum radio history, we got nothing right.
Like totally wrong. And like it started off like the music started off really just sad, like very sad and somber.
Oh yeah.
Like, have you been watching The Last of Us at all or not really?
I don't really care, but I haven't seen it. I don't have HBO Max.
Fair.
I am familiar. It has some similar character themes between Joel and Ellie and Din and Grogu.
Yes.
Like how similar they are. That's literally it. But I am familiar with the original game, if that helps.
Okay.
But
so the guitar theme at the beginning of this episode gave me like really big Last of Us vibes. Like the way the ship's pulling in, the guitar they're playing, I'm like, the fuck is this? Are we gonna have infected now? Like like the Clone Wars technically gave us a zombie episode. Are we gonna have a zombie? Was this gonna be another zombie episode? Like shit. But yeah, what are your thoughts on like Omega in this episode? She's like sad the entire.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
It feels like she's going through like puberty very slowly.
Very slowly or very. Or very quickly. I don't know. Like if you look at it from her point of view, she lost her home 6 months ago.
Yes.
Like, Camino's gone. She lost her home.
But then again, she went through all that in season 1, and like had not experienced emotions like that in the first season.
Well, and I think that was like the biggest
I don't know,
critique a lot of my friends had about season 1 of The Bad Batch, that none of the characters except for Omega a little bit had character development.
Yeah.
And I can agree with that.
Heck, Omega and Ink Wrecker also. No, actually, no. Echo didn't have a lot in
season 1.
I think in season 1.
Yeah, they were just
definitely not Tech.
They were just there in season 1. They just were there for the plot point, and I'm trying to look at it from Omega's point of view, like from a storytelling point of view, where okay, she lost her home. But she had the Bad Batch as her foundation, her security blanket, She had the Marauder as a security blanket. And, her Echo leaving really fucked her up because she never thought it would change. Like, she thought she would always have these 4 dudes, these 4 men and a little lady, like, trying to protect her and stuff. And it's gone, and then the Marauder's now gone, so like her world is completely. Lola's gone. She was probably on the ship,
and Gonki.
Yeah, if Gonki was on the ship, he's gone. So
for now. I'll get to that later.
Yeah, for now.
Yes.
But yeah, it's interesting to see like one of the things I point out in the notes like later on, but I'll bring it up now is, they're soldiers. Their whole job, other than Omega, I'm just talking about Clone Force 99. They're meant to do a mission and move on. That's what they were bred for and whatever. So they really don't have time to have feelings, I guess you could say, right? But it's interesting seeing them argue with each other, and they're arguing not because they're having issues, because Echo's gone, and it's affecting them.
Yep.
But they don't want to admit it's affecting them. Like, it almost affects them worse than Crosshair leaving, for some reason.
Yes.
Right?
Like, Echo was the legit mom of the group, and Hunter was the dad.
Yes! Absolutely. Yes. And Crosshair was probably a dickhead from the beginning. So, like, when Crosshair left, they're like, that's not that bad. This is not that bad. The group is actually a lot more fun now that Crosshair's gone. But you're right. Yes, like, Echo was the mom of the group. But, man, yeah. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts with, like, them arguing and Omega going through things and stuff?
Something tells me Echo's gonna reunite with them at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think this is the end. Like, I hope we get, like, all 7 of them reunite somehow.
I agree. I definitely agree. Still, though, it's like, I didn't think...
I'm still gonna figure out how to, like, Crosshair's out there doing whatever, I guess, and maybe this all has to, like last episode when, like, Palpatine announced that they're basically going to decommission all clones, basically, and just replace them with stormtroopers. Like, I feel like they have to tell Crosshair that, and maybe Crosshair won't take that lightly.
Because Rampart's gone now. Like,
Rampart's gone. Who is his new boss? I want to know
right?
Who's
Like,
his
who?
new
Yeah.
boss.
Okay. So, our theory about Rampart using Crosshair as, like, for suicide missions is completely out the window. But
Yeah.
is it?
I mean, unless Rampart team ups with the Bad Batch, then that's a wild theory. That's probably not going to happen. But
Well, like, he'll either team up with the Bad Batch, or this was just a publicity stunt by the Empire. Like, we'll get rid of Rampart, but he's in the back doing stuff. Like, I mean, the Death Troopers or the Dark Troopers are still a thing.
yes.
And they still need to be built. Maybe Rampart takes...
But, like... But then there are characters in Andor that later show up or something. Like Deidre or whatever. And those characters.
I mean, it's
still far in the future, though.
Yeah.
It's too hard to tell.
Because let's say the ISB hasn't been created yet. And remember, this is still 6 months into the creation of the Empire.
Yes.
So the ISB is probably not even a thing yet. And Rampart could either and again,
Tarkin could.
Yeah, Tarkin could be his boss.
Take over.
But yeah, like the clones are being decommissioned. Someone has to tell Crosshair this. Rampart's gone. I mean, where was I going with this? Fudge.
Does this even have to do with the episode?
No, it doesn't. We just went on a tangent like we always do. Okay, so Crossing, episode 9. Yeah, these guys are kind of they're dealing with losing Echo in their own way, and Omega just can't take it, like, at all, and the Marauder gets stolen by, like, this purple feathered or purple haired dude or lady.
Okay. I have actually seen the trailer, and there was, like, a boy that has the exact same outfit, but the helmet is off. So that same boy that I saw in the trailer is probably the same person as who's under the helmet. So that the like feather things that you said were hair, I think they're just part of the helmet.
I think so also. Like I thought it was hair originally until I saw like more.
And those are like fingerless gloves, so that's definitely human.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to be seeing this character again in a future episode for sure.
Oh
and
yeah.
And in the trailer, or in one of the trailers, for the season, apparently like there is some shots in there in the Marauder that we haven't seen yet. So they're definitely going to get the Marauder back somehow.
Right. Yeah. And if you look at this character, the way the character is designed, we're going to see them later. You're right. Like,
Yeah.
that's a very unique type of look to the character. I did have a weird theory, though. I'm probably wrong. I know I'm wrong, because you said I'm wrong just now. But the way the character was touching the ship, for a split second, I'm like, is that Kanan? Like, did Kanan somehow show up, like, somehow end up on this planet running away?
Somehow had a growth spurt and now is just on this planet randomly.
I mean, he's on the run, and he would
but he doesn't.
But he would recognize the Marauder and would probably know how to pilot it.
I mean, I need to look at the picture of the boy, but that did not look like Kanan at all.
Oh no, I am positive I am wrong. Like I totally know I'm wrong.
Definitely wrong. I'd need to scroll back all the way through my tweets to find the picture, but there is a picture. I swear there's a picture of him. So. Oh, maybe it's not too far. Okay. There we go. Okay.
Oh boy.
Found it.
All right, let's see if I can put it into the thing without destroying everything.
Or you could just, yeah.
Oh, okay, I see it. Hang on. Right there, folks. Let me not show you the people who are in my thing. But yeah, there's... Look at that. Huh. Yeah. Okay, I am totally wrong. I mean, if you squint your eye, it possibly could be Kanan.
No. That's definitely a new character.
Yeah. But whom, though, and why do they... Okay, so...
Okay, I mean, for a second I thought, maybe he's a young Din Djarin, but no, he's too young.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, no, hold on. Wait, no, Din was young enough to witness the Clone Wars.
But he'd already be a foundling by now, and he would have been wearing his mask. Well, my whole thing with this character, especially now,
the fingerless gloves thing.
Now that you said they put the character in the trailer, is they have some type of importance.
Exactly.
If they're in the trailer.
I mean, they stole the Marauder for one, so he's probably...
Like, what that importance is, we'll find out.
How they're gonna retrieve the Marauder back from him is another big question, I guess.
I'm assuming that this guy cannot get off world. Like, they know how to fly, like, on planet, but not off planet. So maybe it's still on the Marauder. Maybe the Marauder's still on this planet somewhere.
So that logo on his jacket is really interesting. I wonder what that means.
Ooh.
Probably like a symbol for like maybe like a gang he was a part of or something.
Maybe. Oh, wrong one. You mean the one like on his breast pocket, like right there,
the
right?
breast pocket, yeah.
Huh.
Or it could be meaningless, and I could just be speculating too much, but...
As we do.
Yeah.
As we do on this show.
But... Again, he could just be like a scavenger or something and wanted to get off-world. He does have goggles similar to, like, Rey, like, or, like,
I was
whatever.
Just going to say that as a joke that he's Rey's dad.
No.
We
all know canonically who Rey's dad is.
But don't you kind of miss that when no one knew who Rey's parents were?
God.
So like people stretched.
Bro, I remember the Snoke being. I mean, they were technically not wrong at this point, but the Snoke being like related to Rey, like Rey, like. 'Cause technically, Snoke is Rey's uncle, but
technically.
But
you gotta admit, you do kind of miss that a little bit when like there was like theories about who Rey could be all over the fucking place.
Oh Lord, I was there for that. I was there the entire The entire run, basically. Been there since day one, basically.
Yeah, you have. I miss those days. Sorry, those are some fun days. Like who's Rey's father? Who's Finn's dad? Like,
I mean, we don't know who Finn's dad is still.
Fair. Like, is she a Skywalker? Is she not a Skywalker? Is she a Kenobi? Which I think I would like a lot better if she was a Kenobi.
It's kind of implied that Jaina is Lando's daughter, but not really.
Right.
Not confirmed.
Right.
But...
So I find interesting in this episode. Yeah, I find interesting in this episode that Omega's alone with two people in this episode. She's alone with Wrecker at one point, and then she's alone with Tech later on. Yet the one she has the big heart-to-heart with is Tech, not Wrecker. I would have thought you'd think it'd be Wrecker because her and Wrecker are kind of close. Because at the beginning,
I'm so worried about Tech now because we've gotten like 3 tech-centric episodes.
Yo, don't tell me what you're thinking because I think I know what you're thinking.
No, I don't want Tech to die. I don't want him to die now. I don't want him to die this season. Goodness gracious. Too much focus on him, and I'm concerned. Like, he had a lot of focus on Hunter last season, and he almost got shot by Cad Bane. Or got killed by Cad Bane. He did get shot by Cad Bane, but he almost got killed. Oh.
I mean, it's gonna happen. Like, holy shit, what if... So...
Oh, no.
Boba went back to become a Mandalorian, right?
Bounty hunter, yes.
Who's to say Omega doesn't do something similar and goes to Mandalore to find her people?
Huh. I mean... Wouldn't all the clones want to do that, though?
But she's her and Boba...
She is the pure, yeah, she is the pure...
Exactly.
One that's actually pure, like Boba.
Like, her and Boba are the other ones that are, like... Other than, like, her being, like, her gender being changed, like, they're like...
This is why I wanted Omega to be in Mandalorian, because I wanted her and Boba to meet.
I mean...
Because we don't know if they've met, like...
And how do we know she's not?
She knows of Boba, like she knows of Alpha.
Yeah, exactly.
But does Boba know of Omega? I don't know.
Probably not. Because none of them knew about her.
No. So, I feel like her showing... The fact that the Mandalorian... Like, okay, conspiracy theory time. So we all know Mando Season 3 is going to take place on Mandalore, right?
Yes.
Mando Season 3 is premiering in 2 weeks, and it's gonna, like, overlap with Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm.
What if?
And
if Omega shows up in Mando Season 3?
We've been down this road before, and we were wrong. But...
Listen.
But...
This is too much of a coincidence now that they're going to be on Mandalore this season.
But... Episode 11 of The Bad Batch, which premieres on March 1st, the same day as the Episode 1 of Mando Season 3... is called the Metamorphosis. That's a very weird fucking name to call.
Can we look up what that means? Because I feel like that will give us a hint what will happen in this episode.
According to
Do we want to look up what that means?
I mean, according to Wikipedia, it just means it's gonna, the next episode coming up, episode 11. Dictionary-wise, metamorphosis, just means turning into something else, like a caterpillar into a butterfly. And whatnot. Ooh. Yeah. So, yeah.
Maybe turning into a Mandalorian. Listen, or bounty hunter. Who knows? I mean, it could mean anything, really. Like
it could. It really could. I mean,
Crosshair turning into a good guy again. Like, or it could literally mean like young. Like a young person growing into a mature person, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Omega, like, maturing into, like, maybe, like, a skilled bounty hunter.
I mean, Omega...
Or it could be about Boba. I don't know.
In this episode alone, Omega matured a lot. Like, she was angry. Like, very angry and angsty in this entire effing episode. And
she's really skilled at using her weapon, so... Yeah.
And she talked back to everybody in this episode.
Actually... She didn't have her bowcaster. It was on the Marauder when it got stolen.
No,
right?
it was on her back.
Oh, was it on her back? Okay.
Yeah, my third viewing of it when I was doing the notes, I'm like, oh, there it is. So, but I mean,
it's also like very precise too, like how she was trying to angle the little drill thingy when they were trying to grab the supplements.
Well, okay, so something I noticed in this episode, which kind of goes back to my theory about Omega being all of their strengths, is that
Okay.
So you know how Omega goes off to be by herself, because she's upset, and then she finds like a cavern full of Ipsum, and Echo goes to Echo, Tech goes to help her out and whatnot, and all of a sudden they kind of like fall to like an aqueduct. The scene switches back to Hunter and Wrecker, and they're doing their own thing, and then Hunter just looks almost like he's like in tune with the Force, and he knows something's wrong, right?
Has enhanced senses.
I'm not saying he's Force sensitive. Yes, it's his enhanced senses. But during Tribe, Omega is like communicating with the tree just like Gunji is.
Ah.
So she does technically have, I think, those enhanced senses too, because she found Gunji in Tribe, remember?
Yeah.
Like she heard the shots going off and she went to go investigate. So I'm still convinced she's supposed to be the upgrade to the clones.
Oh.
And Clone Force 99 was the experiments to make her.
Wanted her.
Yes. She has to be the upgrade
why
to the clones.
she's kept a secret too.
Yeah. Like this episode, she was very crosshairish. I mean, granted.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Granted, she was very sad and angry that Echo was gone and the Marauder's gone, but like, you know how like Echo was always kind of like a dickhead sometimes, even before he became a bad guy.
Isn't like Crosshair the kind of person who wants to isolate himself from the others?
Yeah.
Like Omega wanted to do the same thing.
I mean, granted, when anyone's feeling bad, they do want to be alone. It's something we all do. And Omega just want to be away from everybody else.
Omega doesn't seem like the kind of person who'd want to isolate herself.
No. Which just goes to show how much this all affected her and how hard it affected her. But I think it's more that Tech and the other two weren't showing as much emotion about Echo leaving or losing the ship as she was. Because they're soldiers. They move on. She is essentially a 14-year-old kid hanging out with soldiers. So it's like... But yeah, and it's like, we saw a lot of growth from Tech in this episode. Surprisingly, like you said, he was very Tech centric, very emotional, and also okay. So the whole stampede part in this episode, right? When they're running away.
Yes, the Lion King stampede, and I thought Wrecker was gonna get Mufasa.
Right?
Yeah,
oh my god.
Scared. Dude, like I legit got Lion King flashbacks watching the entire scene unfold, and I think everyone had the same thing. And I did not know that the Kiner brothers literally tweeted the picture of Simba running from the stampede on their Twitter.
Really?
The day before the episode came out. I did not. I thank God I avoided Twitter because they literally posted that spoiler.
Bastardos. I mean, it was no context spoiler, so I think everyone was probably like, "What the fuck?" Until
it was really dead on though.
Yeah, it was.
Stampede thing.
Come on, Disney, what are you trying to do to us? Like, we survived that once. Leave us alone. We don't want to see that shit again. No long live the king here. I mean, just saying. And when Wrecker went back down to get the Ipsum, he's like, "Go get the Ipsum." He's like, "Oh," and he jumps down. It's like same thing like Scar. Ugh, like.
Yeah, don't get Mufasa, Wrecker, yep. I swear.
Long live the king. Ah!
God, Omega being Simba, though. Ugh. Hated that. I hated that.
Would that make Tech and Hunter Timon and Pumbaa?
Yes.
Although Wrecker seems more like Timon anyway, so.
Pumbaa, actually.
Oh, Pumbaa? He's the one that's...
Pumbaa's the one that likes to eat a lot, I guess.
I thought they both like to eat a lot. Both Timon and Pumbaa. Which one was the warthog?
Pumbaa.
Pumbaa? Okay. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Pumbaa's the warthog.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right.
I mean, Mufasa's literally voiced by James Earl Jones, so who would be Mufasa? I mean, no one died, obviously, but like, I guess Hunter.
I guess.
I mean, Hunter did almost die in season 1. And Mufasa was the mentor figure for his son Simba, and in terms of literally mentor figure for Omega, so there we go. And Scar is obviously Crosshair. Yeah, okay. Similar.
Yep. So you know what I found interesting?
Features.
Okay, so I hope you saw this also, but they get out of the aqueduct, the like Wrecker and Hunter get to them and whatnot, and they blast their way out and they get to the town and they call Sid. Just like, hey, you gotta come help us.
Oh yeah.
You
That was really interesting.
So, okay. Remember
I have a theory.
in Faster, where
Yes.
that dude, what's his name? I have it written down here.
Yeah, voiced by the Ghostbuster.
Voiced by Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson.
Grinny Maleji, right?
Yes.
He literally told them, don't trust her.
Yes.
She's going to screw you over. And,
Yes.
they're like, yo, we need to get out of here. And
that
she's
one.
like, not my problem. I didn't tell you to get caught. I didn't tell you to do this. I can't help you right now. The fuck?
Dude, okay. I have a theory. What if, like, the Batch and Crosshair meet up again because of the fact that they got screwed over by Sid in the Empire?
I think so. Maybe.
Maybe that's how they will reunite. By that, under that circumstance.
I
Or
mean,
maybe Sid is actually working for the Empire and Sid doesn't care anymore. Secretly.
maybe.
It's like her behavior's like, I mean, she might not be working, but maybe like she made a deal that he couldn't turn down because money, and she only cares about the money.
And that's why she said she was kind of busy, because they were like actually in her fucking bar making her a deal to join and do things. Yeah.
It's probably Tarkin or Rampart. Probably.
Because the next episode literally is called Retrieval. So that basically means they're going to get saved, I'm guessing. And
I think Retrieval, I think they're going to get saved by Echo and Rex, I think. I hope.
yeah, that's true. Or
Actually,
Sid's
wait,
like,
no, they'll still be stuck there, so, I mean, he could come get them, I guess.
or the Empire shows up to the planet they're on. Because Sid's like, listen,
Oh, yeah.
you guys need to leave me alone. I got something for you. You're looking for like that little girl and like the brown-eyed guys and all those dudes. I know exactly where they're at. You can go get them. Just leave me alone. So,
Yeah.
but keep in mind, we were really wrong on this episode, so we could be really wrong on the next episode.
I mean, who knows? I mean, we literally based off of the fact that Crosshair was going to be in this episode because of the word cross in the title, so we're dead wrong on that. So.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen Crosshair in a while, so that's a little interesting.
Not since Solitary Clone. That was episode... that was episode 3. So yeah, I haven't seen him in like...
That was episode 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes ago. That was 6 fucking episodes ago.
Yep. Where's Crosshair? Is he alright?
And Cody.
Cody?
He was in an episode
We
also.
haven't seen him since episode... Yeah.
So they're both gone. So, yeah, like they're kind of overdue to show up and do stuff. There's only about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 episodes left to do something, so,
And one of them is a 2-part, or one of them is a double episode finale.
Yar.
Technically 6 if you count the premiere days.
That's true. So yeah, like I don't know, like we got a lot. I know I say that a lot, but we got a lot in this episode. We got like Omega being very, very angry and angsty, as well as she should be. She lost her home and her friend. Tech finally showing some kind of emotion. I think it's the first time we've seen Omega cry in this entire series.
Yeah. Also, I think we got semi-confirmation that Tech is autistic because of the one line that he said
Oh, I don't
to
process.
Omega.
Yep, I don't process emotions like everyone else does. Yeah. Now you
Oh,
mention it.
I was very, very happy as an autistic person to hear that line coming straight from his mouth. Like, I've always had this headcanon ever since, like, Clone Wars Season 7 premiered. Like, the very first episode of Clone Wars Season 7 when they first appeared. Like, I was like, huh, interesting. He's, like, the spectrum, and I think he might be at this point. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
So Jen
There
and
are
I watch.
lots of signs.
Jen and I love watching the Bad Batch together, and one of her favorite characters is Tech. Other than Omega, she loves Tech just because he's such a just the way he talks and stuff. And then one episode, it might have been the one with Gunji, I believe. I'm not sure, but in one of the episodes we're watching, she's like, "Hey, doesn't Tech remind you of so and so who happens to be autistic?" And answers just like Tech does, and I'm like, wow, yeah, you're right. He talks just like him. Now, this dude's one of my best friends, so he's an awesome person. So fuck what y'all say about people who are neurodivergent. But case
I'm
in
right
point,
here.
case in point, the lovely Millie. So like,
Thank you.
so like, yeah. So now that you said that, I'm like, fuck, it really is him.
Yep.
Because my boy is
Brain.
my boy. He's kind of like built like a rail. He's going bald also, so he'd make a perfect Tech for like.
Really?
Yeah, he'd be a perfect Tech if he ever cosplayed. Like he even taught like to even like his cadence of how he talks. Oh, I'm going to. I convinced him to cosplay once. I can do it again. But
Who does he dress up as?
he dressed up as Tony Stark.
Okay.
But it was like years ago when before even Avengers popped out, we actually made the arc reactor.
When the first Iron Man came out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is back
That's when I got into the MCU.
This is back when I sound so old when I'm saying this, but when you can actually go New York Comic Con and buy tickets the weekend before and still get in. Yes. Before you had to buy them like in July to go see it in October. You could buy them. Because that's what I did. I'm like, oh shit, New York Comic Con's this weekend? Oh, I'm gonna buy a ticket. Yeah. And I literally bought a ticket the weekend before New York Comic Con and still went. A 3-day, mind you. A fucking 3-day I got and still went.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the con, I guess.
Fair. Like PAX, I'm pretty sure you can't do that anymore.
No, everything's online, I think. I have to order online, but like if you like order till a certain date, then you can the badge will get mailed to you, but I think after a certain date, I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But you have to get your badge picked up at will call at the con. That's how most conventions do their like
yeah, dude.
badges. So
can you buy them like at the spot nowadays? I don't remember now.
Like I said, it depends on the con.
Yeah.
Like if the event's not sold out, then no. If it's like a smaller con, and if it's like a 2-day thing and it's not sold out, then you can buy passes on at the booth, at will call.
You know what we don't have passes for?
I think
Celebration.
Fan Expo, I think, has had some stands where they'd be selling some unused passes that, like single day passes that haven't been sold yet.
I know we're getting super off topic, but I don't know if I can ever go to Fan Expo and feel okay. The reason why, just hear me out. The location they have Fan Expo in, I'm used to going to for PAX East. So I feel weird going there and it's not PAX East, that's Fan Expo. I've
been there for both and PAX feels bigger. I feel like PAX takes up the whole floor.
Yeah.
And for Fan Expo, I think it takes up only half.
Really? Huh.
Last year and the year before, because of COVID reasons, we had less people on the vendors floor, so I mean, it felt small, obviously, after COVID, like the year everything reopened, and then last year it grew a little bit, but not so much. I feel like this year is gonna be back to normal. I hope. I don't know. That's just my speculation.
I'm gonna try it if I
But
can. Get a one day ticket to PAX this year. Like, people, fans out there, if you got a one day
okay, but
ticket.
Dave, if Lucasfilm announces that Celebration's coming to Boston, it'll be at the Boston Convention Center, like, because like PAX is run by Repop, which
That's
also
true.
runs Celebration. So, listen,
Oh my God!
would
Can
you go
imagine?
if it was in Boston?
Of course I would go. Fuck. Like, I'm crashing on.
I'd lose my goddamn mind.
I'm
if
crashing
they
on your
announced
couch.
that.
Are you kidding me? Like I'm just gonna show up with
I don't
bags.
live
Hey,
that far from the convention center, so
I know you're not. I'm just gonna show up bags. Hey, Millie, where's your couch?
dude, it's probably not going to happen because most celebrations happen in Florida and California.
I don't know. We did have one in Chicago, so
True.
and
The one in Denver many, many years ago, but
Mm-hmm.
that was a small venue.
so it could very well happen in Boston, which would be fucking dope.
Indiana, Colorado, LA, and Florida.
See, it's
And Chicago.
possible. It's very possible.
I mean, we now have. I mean, we're gonna have a Lego HQ here in Boston in the future, and Hasbro's in Rhode Island. Big names that work with Star Wars. Like, come on, they're all here in New England, so.
So if anyone,
Pretty sure the Lego building is currently in Connecticut. So.
it is. I think.
Somewhere.
If anyone out there who works for Lego who's currently watching us now, my friend Millie lives in Boston, and she's a hard worker. She came up with her name and ideas and all this stuff for this show. Like, I talk a lot, but this is Millie's brainchild mostly. So
Yeah, it is.
give her a job. She knows what she's doing. Trust me. Trust
you
me.
have customer service experience.
She does. She really does.
Oh.
And she just happens to like Legos also. So, it's win-win. Just saying.
And the most IPs that you've probably have made already.
So some quick thoughts about this episode of Bad Batch. Some quick closing thoughts. Again, a very Omega and tech-heavy episode. We saw growth from the two of them. We see how the clones, or Clone Force 99 anyway, deals with loss, and how Omega's kind of humanizing them a little bit.
Yeah.
Because even Wrecker's like, you'll get used to it when Echo is gone. Like, for him, it was just like, a night and day thing. But Omega's really, really humanizing.
Yeah, they're so used to seeing other clones come and go.
Yeah. Because they're soldiers. And Omega's like, no, we're a family. And she treats it as such. And when Tech pissed her off and she went to go away to be alone, Wrecker's like, yeah, you should go talk to Omega and see if she's all right. And
if you think about it, Omega's been isolated because she's been hanging out with Nalase.
Yep.
And stuff, and being her mentor.
And this is her first time.
Protege.
And this is her first time actually being with her other clones, her family, her brothers, or whatever you want to call them.
I wonder if she'll eventually find out what happened to Nalase. Because, Nalase's being a little sus right now. Last time we saw her.
Do we know what's going on with her? We saw her at the end of season 1.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Like
I said, I feel like it's all going to connect back to Mandalorian because that, clone scientist that we saw at the end looks very similar to Perchik. Mandalorian.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And it both have to do with cloning. And he's also involved with cloning.
Mm-hmm.
So it all has to do with cloning and Mandalorians, apparently. It's all circling back.
No, she'd be too old. I was thinking maybe maybe Omega can show up in like the newest new trilogy if they announce it, but she'd be too old.
She'd be the same age as Boba, in, like, Mandalorian.
But I mean, like later, like let's say if they announce like a brand new series of movies that take place in the sequel trilogy era.
Well, I mean, it could be like post Mandalorian, pre Force Awakens era. Like,
yeah.
you could see like
True.
like Hess like Poe's parents or something. Live action, because we've gotten their comics thing.
That's true.
We could see Poe as a child, like a small young child, and also, like, what the heck's going on with Mon Mothma during this time? Because, like, after Return of the Jedi, we don't see her again.
Nope, not at all.
Sequels, like, during the sequels, like, we have no information.
Unless it's in the novels or comics, which, friends, if it is, let us know.
No, it's not. I've checked.
Really? Nothing at all? No shit.
Nothing. Like, Ben was born on Chandrila, where Mon Mothma was born. You think that Mon Mothma would be aware? Or at least Ben Solo should know who Mon Mothma was?
I don't think she was...
No mention.
I don't think she was on any one of the ships that went to attack the Death Star, I don't think, right?
And she's very close with Leia.
Yeah. Very close.
You see in the original trilogy, like, know each other pretty well. At least through, like, Bail and Brea before they died.
Honestly, it's possible. I'm just going by, like, Disney. Not Disney writing, but just writing in general, where it's like, they probably forgot about her. And they're like, oh, shit. Let's write about Mon Mothma and put her in stuff so we know we're thinking about her. And then we'll bring her back later in the sequel trilogies somewhere. Maybe. Because you're right. She's like nowhere in the sequel trilogy at all. At all.
Nothing like in the books, nothing in the comics. Post Return of the Jedi, nothing.
We had Admiral Akbar. We didn't have her, for fuck's sake. So.
Oh, no, exactly. I'm gonna look at her Wikipedia and like look because I am 100% certain we have no idea what her fate is in sequel trilogy era Star Wars. Like.
So we can
That's so weird that she's just not there. We don't even know if she had full responsibility on helping create the Resistance.
That's true.
We all know Leia helped create the Resistance, but did Mon Mothma get involved? We don't know.
I mean, considering her age, she could have retired, possibly.
Very true. But it's still weird that we never got any closure for Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma, do. I'm also looking right now real quick in the canon area. Get two minds on this.
Paragraph here.
Early life, Clone Wars of the Republic.
There's a whole New Republic thing, but...
Retirement. Hang on. Nope, this is just for the New Republic stuff. I mean...
Yeah, this is all New Republic. This isn't, like...
Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Like, New Republic stuff for her. Because she's had a couple,
okay, I guess.
Don't tell me they just wrote her off screen. That kind of sucks. Give us something. Yeah, like, retirement. Sometime later, Mon Mothma became ill and stepped down as Chancellor. However, her successor lacked Mothma's charisma and failed to create the same political consensus as she did in her absence. The New Republic fell into chaos, and the Galactic Senate became divided into two factors: the populace, who believed that individual member planets should retain their full sovereignty, and the centrists, who favored a stronger galactic government and a larger military. Mothma showed her personal support for Leia after it was publicly revealed that she was the daughter of Darth Vader. Her message to Leia indicated that she had suspected the truth for some time before the announcement. So
That's it?
That's pretty much it. Legacy.
Basically retired and peaced out.
In some ways, Mon Mothma's actions contributed to the New Republic's eventual undoing. Her drive for ensuring peace and demilitarization eventually left the New Republic in a weakened state of unprecedented that lacked the strength to combat the rise of the First Order. The New Republic she quickly built fractured without her strong presence, and in no small part was caused by the influence of the First Order's growing strength that was not revealed for decades. So it looks like she was doing stuff, but where is this all found? Sources.
What's the source for that? Because I've never heard of that. Probably some novelization that was probably glossed over for when I first read it, but there's like no visuals at all.
Star Wars 2015 flashbacks. She has a lot of appearances.
Well, what was the source linked next to that sentence? Do you know?
Let me see. It does. Come on. We were just looking at this, David. Star Wars helmet collection? What? That's the link?
Helmet collection? What?
Star Wars helmet collection
so
was
obscure.
a 40 nightly magazine published by D. Agasani. Each issue came with a 1:5 scale replica helmet, and each magazine contained 4 sections, databank AZ highlighting the saga helmets and weapons and uniforms. So
that is so obscure. Like information like that, like in.
And it's canon, allegedly, according to Wikipedia.
Allegedly. Like, shouldn't that information be... should have had that in TFA. God.
I agree. Although,
like,
to be fair, if you look at the Force Awakens visual... I don't know if it's the Force Awakens visual dictionary or one of the visual dictionaries for the new movies, new trilogy. No, I'm sorry. It's the Rogue One visual dictionary. Cassian Andor's parents were way different in the visual dictionary than they are in the actual series itself. They completely retconned his parents. Oh,
interesting.
Yeah. Let me see if I can look it up and find it real quick.
They, like, retconned who Cassian's parents were?
Big time. Like, the whole planet where he's from, not even anything. Visual dictionary.
Isn't that counted as concept art, though? Or, like, no? They just completely retcon it.
They completely retconned it. See all the images. There's Jyn Erso. Because I noticed they've done that a lot with, like, other stuff, like how the lightsabers work was, like, retconned a couple times in visual dictionaries over the years and stuff, so... Star Wars Fandom Older Visual Guide. Do you have any pages of this shit that I can show and see? Probably not. I will find it, and I'll put it on our Twitter when I do find it, or I'll link it down below if I do find it. But there was a point where, in the visual dictionary, Andor's backstory was completely different than what we saw in the show.
And that was?
His parents were rebels, I believe. And I think his dad died in a battle with the rebellion, like at some point, like when he was like 10 years old or something. So like, it was a little different. I just don't remember what it was, but I know it was different.
Rogue One visual. Oh, hold on. Is there a PDF version?
Ooh,
wait a minute. I
think I just found it also.
Archive.org. You saving me? Aw. Dave, you're gonna thank me for this. You're gonna thank me for this.
Look up Andor, man. Telling you.
No, it's on archive.org. Every single page.
Oh, I found it. Okay, let me find Andor's page. Come on, come on. I just remember his being a lot different. I'm not cutting any of this out. People need to know like our excitement. That's Yavin 4.
Cassian should not be too far.
Cassian Andor, there it is.
Jinner, so. Shoot, wait, wasn't there a. I probably didn't look. Was there a table of contents at the beginning? No, there was not. Never mind. Actually, wait, no, there is. There is. Okay. Page. Oh, God. Cassian Andor, page 52. Looked at the table of contents.
Found it. 52? Yep, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
An accomplished Alliance intelligence officer with extensive undercover and combat field experience, Captain Cassian Andor is a disciplined operative with a deep respect for the chain of command and the carrying out of unquestioned orders. He earns respect from agents under his authority with his ability to keep a cool head and complete his missions with minimal resources. Okay. Now in his mid-20s, Andor grew up in the wilds of the Outer Rim and came of the age of fighting against the Republic during the tumultuous Clone Wars. His father was killed at the Cardia Military Academy during a protest against the expansion of Republic militarism. Though not a formal separatist, Andor became part of the Confederacy-backed insurrectionist cell at a young age, tossing rocks and bottles at Republic walkers and clone soldiers. He came to learn firsthand that even the most advanced combat machinery could be crippled with the right grit sprinkled with the right gears. In the time of the Empire, Andor was drawn into anarchist movements that continued to defy imperial edicts. He was recruited by General Draven into the growing rebellion. So even who recruited him was different. His dad died on a different planet, right? Cardia? Yeah, died on a different planet.
Yeah.
So
that was his original birth dad, quote unquote. Obviously the dad Reese on Andor was an adoptive father.
Right.
And he got his last name from the adoptive parents.
Yes. So they changed it slightly for Andor. Well, they changed it for...
Sounds similar because of the whole riot thing and like him throwing the visual dictionary mentioning like him throwing like rocks or something at the stormtroopers, like or slash clones. Like that sounds almost like what happened in Andor in the flashback.
So, yeah, I guess I'm a bit wrong. They kind of like changed it a little bit, but not too much, I guess. But you know, they've retconned stuff before, kinda. So Mon Mothma could easily be retconned and put in something.
Do we want to look at Mon Mothma's page? Because we did kind of skip past her page.
This is.
She did have a whole page too.
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah, page 40/42.
Oh, come on, David. We're just there. There it is. Okay. Let me zoom in. Now, keep in mind, folks, this is prior to the events of Andor. This is like when the Visual Dictionary was first
published
released.
Prior to the even existence of Andor.
Mon Mothma was born into political life. Her father was an arbiter general in the Galactic Republic, and her mother was a governor on their native Chandrilla. So they kept that name. Okay. For some reason, I thought they kind of wrote it in, but anyway. When she was old enough, Mothma joined the Galactic Senate, becoming one of the youngest senators in the council to date. Her political ascendancy accompanied the most trying times for the Republic, a separatist crisis precipitating the outbreak of the Clone Wars. Mothma was a loyalist, adhering to the ideals of the Republic, but as the Clone Wars continued, she and other like-minded senators wondered what would become of the state. To better manage the war effort, the Senate granted Supreme Chancellor Palpatine sweeping executive powers for the remainder of the emergency. With this newfound authority, Palpatine sidelined many voices in the Senate. Conscientious politicians such as Bail Organa, Mon Mothma, and Padme Amidala began to meet in private. to discuss ways to counter Palpatine's executive excessiveness within the framework of the Senate. When conversation turned into solutions outside of the Senate, the seeds of rebellion were planted. So that was a missing scene from Revenge of the Sith. We start talking about rebellion early, which they kind of got rid of and they kind of rewrote because Mon Mothma is part of the rebellion in Andor, but not really. Like, so the whole point of this, people, our tangent, was saying that sometimes very key important story arcs for these characters are not in anything important. They're like in some type of tiny little alcove somewhere. Like, for instance, the Visual Dictionary has story plots that we don't see on screen at all. So nope. Mon Mothma's retirement and everything that happened with the New Republic and all that good stuff.
Oh my god, Poe's necklace ring thing.
What happened?
So Poe has a necklace that has like his mom's ring that had no mention of it in the films.
Nope. Other things they never mentioned in the film though, which pissed me the fuck off, which, like, another, I hate to tear down Star Wars, but sometimes I do it by accident, but Snoke, Supreme Emperor Snoke, Supreme Leader Snoke had a ring.
At the bottom.
He had a ring that had a piece of obsidian from Vader's castle on Mustafar. Come on, that is so cool.
I remember. Oh yeah.
And never brought up. Never brought up.
I think the same thing with like the background like guards in TLJ. They were just there, and I think were killed when Kylo like threw saber or Rey through the saber. I don't remember who, but they were killed shortly after.
Mm-hmm. Like, there was a lot of cool shit that was kind of written in the background. I mean, you could say that with all of Star Wars, but there's a lot of cool shit that was written in the background of the sequel trilogy that we never got to explore more. Like, I love the idea that this is just a cult that worshipped Vader. Not even the Emperor. They worshipped Vader, like, as that's their god. You know what I mean? Like, and we never got to explore that more. Never.
Oh, they have a lot of books, Star Wars books here on Internet Archive. This is going way off topic at this point.
With that said, folks, yes, we will link this stuff down below. I'm sure we can link our the Internet Archive down there, and I don't think we'll get in trouble. But
sure, it's public, so
we'll link this shit down below so you guys can read for yourselves what Cassian's original story was. Yes, it was changed a little bit. I was wrong on that.
Another good example is how Caleb Doom escaped Order 66, because in the comics it's different. I feel like that's important to Bad Batch, so because that was in season 1.
It was, yeah, and they really changed it. Correct, you're absolutely right.
Really retcons Caleb's whole backstory. Anyway.
So if there's anything else you want us to talk about, friends, or something similar you want us to talk about changing backstory, retconning, or doing whatever, send us an email to ilumradiopodcast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on the social medias, you can find us on Twitter at ilumradio, Instagram at ilumradio, and TikTok at ilumradio. If you guys want to follow our personal social medias, Millie, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at me_Halperin and on Instagram at Millie_Halperin.
If you guys want to follow me, you can find me on Twitter at TheBeardedMenace. You can find me on Instagram at DaveTheBeardedMenace. Also on TikTok, DaveTheBeardedMenace. And as well, you can follow and hang out with us on a Twitch stream every now and then on twitch.tv/DaveTheBeardedMenace, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. You'll find me building Gundams or pinning Warhammer figurines, and every now and then you'll find Millie in chat derailing it with Star Wars knowledge, as she does.
If I'm able to make it.
If she's able to make it. But that's it for us, my friends. Thank you for hanging out with us. Like and follow, subscribe, share us with your friends. Let us know what you think. Let your friends know what you think. Leave comments below. All that good stuff. But with that said, friends, as always, be easy. Stay frosty, and may the Force be with you. Peace, friends.